This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you been struggling lately? Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, difficulty with the relationship, or just suffering from self doubt. Now, y'all know there's no shame in my game, and life has been lifing lately. Trying to manage the priorities of being a wife, mom, friend, and full time entrepreneur, it can get overwhelming. If this sounds like you, then BetterHelp wants to help you today. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. Talk to a therapist in a private online environment at your convenience. There are over 20,000 therapists in BetterHelp's network, which gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire to assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. How cool is that? Then you schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can also request a new therapist anytime at no additional charge. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced therapist from BetterHelp. There's a special offer to the Slaying Self Doubt podcast listeners. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/slang. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/slang, SLAYING. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast with Coach Felicia, where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Hey Slayers, welcome back to another episode of Slaying Self-Doubt podcast. It's your girl, Coach Felicia. Welcome to all the new Slayers joining our movement, no matter how you found me, whether it's by way of a guest episode, solo episode, YouTube, you found me on Instagram, it doesn't matter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are listening to this episode, I'm asking that you share with at least 10 people. I know we are getting to the end of the year, but our goal is still to hit 100,000 downloads. That is our big goal. At the start of the year, I really need to look back on this because I don't know where we were at the start of the year. I probably could go back and double check. I'm gonna go look while I'm talking to you all. But we had this big audacious goal at the beginning of the year of hitting 100,000 downloads, and we actually were at, oh man, I'm trying to find this. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. Like, it's okay. That oh, here we go. Let's see. In the beginning, okay, so at the beginning of the year we were at 58,000 downloads. We had hit some goals over the break and everything. So 58, and we just hit 76,000 downloads. So I would have it that maybe we can hit 80 before the end of the year. We have like 5 weeks left. And so I'm excited. If we can hit 80,000 downloads, that would be a blessing. So you guys just share with at least 10 people. Then if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, click the subscribe button. We're trying to grow that as well. But like I just said, we just hit 76,000 downloads. And I shared this a couple of weeks ago, the last time when people were like, oh, it's the consistency. And I am still amazed when I am seeing the numbers just continue to grow. One, because you all are listening, people are continuously listening. And then two, it's always this thing of like, this started off as just an idea and just the sharing what was going on in my life. And, I'm just continuously grateful every time I continue to see the numbers going up. Thanksgiving was amazing. My parents came up and visit. It was it's one of those things where it's like, how can I say this? I'm trying to think because I had a completely different thought. And so I had a completely different thought about something else. And so that just threw my brain process off. And so I'm just like, do I stop recording and start over? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it going. Okay. So my parents came up for the week, which is always a wonderful thing to be able to have them here every Thanksgiving. What's so funny is that, like they were here during the summer and they were like, yeah, we'll be here for Thanksgiving. And we was kind of like, we didn't know that. And so they were like, "Oh, we said we're gonna always do Thanksgiving." I was like, "I don't know who you said it to, but you ain't say it to us." But it was just fun them being here, just spending time. I could tell my mom was just like so happy. There was like one day I was like, "Girl, what is wrong with you? Why are you so giddy?" And she was like, "I'm happy. I'm just happy to be around family and to be around you guys." And I just for me, it was just a moment where it's like they, they've been gone for like, oh gosh, I think like 6 years now. And um if for me sometimes I forget like of course I've had them around living here longer than they've been away, but I think that when you get into the hustle and bustle of just like raising your family, doing your thing, all this other stuff, like you don't necessarily focus on the fact that your parents aren't here and you miss them and wish that you could just hop in the car and go see them or whatever have you. And so it just is, it's an adjustment that I feel like I'm still getting adjusted to. Like I'm glad that they're living out their life and their dream, and they are enjoying it. The other day I called and was like, "Oh, well, matter of fact, it was yesterday. I was like, it's cold up here, the wind, blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Yeah, it's cold down here too. It's 66 degrees." Girl, if you don't get off my off my line talking about some 66 degrees, but I'm sure that's Florida code. But it was really great to just be able to be around family, to just continue to have traditions that we had. Food was good. I can tell you, like, we're just getting older. Like, life is happening. You're watching these kids grow up, just having different conversations. I shared with y'all, I'm going through the process of getting my youngest son into high school. And I was just having a conversation with my husband. I was just like, bruh, like, we are legit about to have like high schoolers, right? And we're in this different phase of life where they are like moving forward. And I was like, it's just, you don't recognize how fast that time goes. You hear people say enjoy the moments when they're little and they're toddlers and stuff, but it is, yeah, that time, baby, that time went by. Okay. And so yeah, just being able to just be around family and the holidays. I'm not some people are like super holiday-ish. I'm not a super holiday person, but it's almost like my birthday. Like leading up to it, I'm kind of like, meh. But then when it gets close, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting a little excited. And so we're going to put our Christmas tree up this week. We have like, it became a tradition that we didn't even know was a tradition. And so I find myself starting to get excited about like, okay, guys, Sunday is the tree day and this, that, and the third. And so even though they act like, oh my gosh, you want us to do that, they be enjoying it. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited about the Christmas holiday. I did something. I'm super proud of myself, y'all. So let me just say this. I don't know if this episode is going to be random. It's going to all tie together eventually, kind of, sort of, but it is kind of random. And y'all are so used to me, so ciao. You just gonna have to get used to me being random. Um, but oh gosh, what was I about to say? Oh my gosh, my brain just left me. Like, oh, real time, like getting old ain't for the getting older. Okay, because I'm not old, but like these transitions where like you be having these like brain farts and stuff like that, like it happens so often. To me now that I'm just be like, what? Maybe I need some ginkgo. I remember I used to make fun of my mom all the time. Oh, back in the day, and I'd be like, you need some memory medication or something, and I'm just like, I don't even know what I was about to say. Anyway, oh, I was going to say I'm super proud of myself. So I am super proud of myself. If you are, following me, or especially if you are signed up for our newsletter, you received a newsletter on Thanksgiving Day. Um, basically wishing you a happy Thanksgiving, but also, running our special for the hoodies and the tees for 25% off. And so if you missed it, don't worry, there's some more sales that'll be coming up in December. But I was super proud of myself because there are times where in this process and in this journey of entrepreneurship, there's times where you feel like you don't have enough. There are times where you feel like, "Ah, I don't really have anything to offer. I don't have this, that, and the third." And so I am grateful that last week we talked about release, or the last time I was on here, we talked about release. And I'm just grateful for the space to be able to have these conversations within my head, right? And then be able to act on whatever the thought is, right? I think before, previously, I was trying to create more things that I need to do this, I need to do that. And I had this thought where it was just like, you have something, right? Like you have something, you have things that you could say, oh, go ahead and put that on and just see what happens, right? I think that a lot of times prior to this space that I'm in right now, I put so much weight on what the outcome was going to be. Oh, nobody's going to buy anything. What if nobody, what if you get nothing? You know what I'm saying? And those things that's possible. Like there's lots of people that probably put out stuff for, Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday, all that stuff that didn't get anything. And there's some people who did and they sold out. Like that's great for them, right? But the reality is that this is still, it's progression, right? And so I was just really proud of myself for um doing it, seeing it all the way through. And even when I gave myself kind of a hard time because I had this other idea for like Cyber Monday, I never did it. I like was just like, well, I'm a pivot, and I figured out to do what I wanted to do in a different way. And so those things are coming up in December. Um but I just wanted to publicly acknowledge it to myself because I think, oftentimes I tell you often like to keep your list of your wins or whatever have you. And sometimes we don't share those wins, right? All the time. We share the really, really big ones like, oh, yeah, we hit 76,000 downloads. Like that's a big win. But also a big win this week is the fact that I even, made a sale, figured out how to, get the 25% off and do it automated, all that stuff. Like all of those things are a win too. And so I'm just grateful that I had the wherewithal and, just the motivation to just continue to do it. Y'all know, so we still have hoodies on sale. We still have the eGuide. You can download that prayer journal on Amazon, join the Facebook group. And, I know right now it's the end of the year. Christmas is coming. But if you all want to invest in coaching, you can do that for 2024. Books are open now for January. Okay. So two announcements, and then we're gonna get into what I want to say. So the first thing is the Journey Behind the Business series is back in 2024. I think I told you a couple of months ago when I came back from break, that sabbatical-ish over the summer, that I really wanted to space out how I was doing things. And I felt like the way that I had been doing it has been working for me. It's been working for my life. It's been working for, what needed to happen at this moment. And I'm still debating how, the series is going to look going forward, whether or not I'll do it simultaneously, or because I think before I said like I'm gonna do certain number of episodes solo and then another, the interviews or whatever have you. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but I do know that I love doing the interviews. I get filled up by doing the interviews, and I'm just excited that they'll be back because I've already talked to some amazing, amazing women, and I can't wait for y'all to hear their stories and their journeys and what they've been through. And so, yeah, looking forward to it. Sunday. So this episode is dropping in the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. I drop it today because on Sunday we start the top 5 of 2023. I was thinking the other day, like, oh, I need to give myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Sunday is December. Like, what the crap, right? And so I was like, oh man, I got to get this thing going. So this week is going to be a busy week for me because I am literally doing all the things to get everything ready for uh get everything ready for that time period. And I'm grateful that it's 5 weeks in December. And so we will be back. I'll be back in your ear live the second week of January, because y'all know that first week we got to get back, get our lives together. Oh gosh, So those things are coming back, and I am excited about both of those. I'm excited about the top five at five. I think last year they all were meats. This year it's a mixture. And I was surprised because I was like, I don't even know if I'd done enough, but I did, and it's good. So I'm excited about that. I'll probably also drop some rewinds in between it. Not rewinds, but like if you're following me, I might just drop some stuff here and there in between that. Child, I don't know. Like, you know what? Let me not say nothing out loud because if I don't do it, I just be on the lookout for the top five of 2023. So I want to talk about these two things because I wrote them down in my notes section. So one of the things that I was doing this year was whenever something would happen, a thought, a conversation, maybe I saw something on social media, I don't know, like I would be like, oh, this is a great podcast topic. And everything didn't make it to the podcast this year, clearly. So we'll use some of it next year. But I wanted to leave you with this. So this is my last episode, the last live episode of 2023. And I really wanted to leave you with these two things as you are exiting out this year and you are thinking about, you know, uh what you've accomplished over the year, your wins, maybe some improvements, but really focusing on focusing on the things that you're doing and also thinking about what's to come, right? There's two things that personally I want us to kind of dig into. So the first one is this comment or quote or whatever. I was trying to think of what it is that I posted on Threads some months ago. And so I said, we trust everyone else to do their job, but we challenge God, the audacity. I'm going to say it again. We trust everyone else to do their job, but we challenge God, the audacity. Um, when I wrote that, I was either reading something, watching something. I can't even remember what it was in reference to. It may have even been a conversation. I have no idea. But it definitely made me think about the fact that we get on planes, we get on trains, we go shopping, we go to the doctors, we send our kids to school. We do all of these things and we trust that these people know what they're doing. We don't go in and we don't I literally just went to the doctor yesterday. Not one time in that appointment did I challenge that physician to say, well, how do you know? Are you sure? How do you know that that's right? Why? What? Like, what's the proof? No, let me do it. Let me do the exam. Let me do the ultrasound. Let me see what you see. I don't know. I didn't go to school for that. I have no idea. I don't even know what I would be looking at. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, none whatsoever. We get on a plane. We say hi to the pilots and to the stewardess, the flight attendants, and we get in our seat, put our seatbelt on, put our headphones on, close out. We go to sleep. We rest on a plane. Like we literally snuggle up with a pillow, a neck brace, maybe, you earbuds. Sometimes you bring a blanket if they don't offer a blanket. And we get nice and cozy in that corner and we say, how long is this flight? Ooh, 5 hours. I'm about to have the best sleep. We rest. I'm about to preach, y'all. I'm telling you. We literally rest in a seat in the air and we relinquish control to our destination, to the pilot. We trust that the stewardess and are they called stewardess anymore? I don't know. The flight attendants will come down and ask us if we want something. Okay. When the turbulence hits, because it may get a little windy on your route. Okay. When the turbulence, we trust that the pilot will figure out how to either go below or above it or through it, whatever he needs to do to continue to get us to our destination safely. We don't get up and be like, no, it's too rocky over here. I don't want to do this. No, let me off. Could you imagine being 50,000 feet in the air and somebody saying, this turbulence is too much, let me out? Like, no, we don't bail. We don't quit. We don't do anything. We trust that we're going to get through it and then we're going to make it to our destination. And then when we reach our destination, even if there's turbulence, whether it's a good flight, a trickery one, we get to that door and we say, thank you. Thank you. We tell them, thank you. Have a great day. Thank you for getting us here safely. And then we go and we enjoy us because now we're here. Then what we do, we get back on that flight with a different pilot, not even the same person, different pilot, different team, different plane, and we travel back the same way we came. And we do the exact same thing. We snuggle up, we rest our head, maybe we watch a movie, but we relinquish control and trust that we will get to the other side. Now, when I tell you that when I said this, it didn't hit me the same way that it hit me right now. But as I am saying, like, we do that. But when it comes to God, baby, we are tussling. Okay. We out here telling him he wrong. We out here questioning everything. When the turbulence hit and things get rocky, when you're not making those sales, when the people on your job is on your last nerve, when your kids is stressing you to the highest power, when you are questioning all the things, we tell him he wrong. We tell him, fix it, Jesus. We tell him how we're going to fix it. We figure out a way that we can control the situation and leave him out of it. Now, as a believer, we're human. We know that there are things that we like to control. These things, like you have to. This correlation is crazy right now because as it's coming to me, I'm just like I was getting ready to say like we go to the airport or we go online and we purchase our ticket. Like we purchase the ticket for this flight, knowing that it may be turbulence, knowing it may be rain, knowing it's up because you can't control the weather. Mm-mm. We know that, and we still board the flight. We know that we don't ask for this man's credentials. We don't ask him, hey, we're not searching and looking up you purchase the flight and you make sure you get it and the timing and all of that stuff is right for you. But we are not asking the pilot to show us his credentials before he takes us wherever we need to go. You don't ask the train conductor to show you that you know how to the bus drop. We don't ask any of that. We just trust that the organization that they work for has trained them efficiently, effectively. They've had enough all that stuff. We trust that they have done this so many times that we don't have no worries. But the person who created the earth, us, your children, your friends, the person who is the creator of all things, we is out here acting like this is first day on a job. And I'm at the same way I'm gathering you, I'm gathering myself. Okay. And so I want us to end this year by asking ourselves, do I trust the pilot more than I trust God? And I know somebody could be saying, well, I'm trusting God is guiding him. Either way, you're still putting your trust in him during that time. And I'm using the example because you literally have no control when you're on a plane. None whatsoever, but we continuously surrender and relinquish control to get to where we're trying to get to. And all I'm saying is maybe we need to ask ourselves why we aren't doing that when we on the ground and God has given us an assignment. If he has told us to go somewhere, why are we questioning or delaying? Right? Why are we you not at the airport being like, I ain't really ready to get on this joint. I'm not really sure. Even my husband hates flying with a passion, right? And he doesn't like it at all. However, if he has to go somewhere, you know what he does? He does what he needs to do. Like there's lots of people who don't like flying. For him, he has to take Valium before he goes, so it calms his nerves, relax. Some people drink before they go. Um, the people smoke, whatever it is to calm their nerves. Some people like I listen. I will pray. I will listen to when we take off. I definitely have prayed and listen to some music, some usually is worship music or whatever have you. I take my focus off. I do something else, but I'm doing some things, right? Sometimes you have to figure out. I ain't saying that any of these things that I'm just telling you what some people do to be able to manage through the flight, right? Um, but you need to ask yourself, what do you need to do to calm the nervousness that you have within you in order for you to do the thing that God has told you to do? What kind of action do you need to take to slay yourself doubt so that you can make it to your destination? Because the reason why we're not getting to the places we need to get to is because we refuse to give God control. But it's not impossible because I just told you do it. I just told you that you do it multiple times in a day for various reasons. When you go to Starbucks, you are trusting that barista is going to make your drink the way that you not back there being like, now, unless you see them pick up the wrong milk, you might be like, I say oat milk or I say almond milk or whatever have you. But you're not back there telling them as they doing whatever they doing it wrong. You ain't supposed to mix it like that. You're not doing that. You ain't saying, let me just go do it myself. No, 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 no. You put your order in, you pay, you trust that the drink is going to come out the way it's supposed to come out. Maybe it's a little off. Maybe you need to add a little sugar. If it's real, real bad, maybe you need to give it back. I'm not saying that that's how the Lord works. What I'm saying is that there's multiple opportunities where you are trusting people with things in your life. But when it comes to God, we is out here tussling. And I'm just saying, I need you to think about that. I think we need to have, we need to have a come to Jesus moment with ourselves and really figure out why do we keep challenging him? What is it about us that keeps challenging him? Why is it that I can trust everybody else and trust other people to do their job, but when it comes to him, I'm like, I can't do it. Is it fear? Is it because you trusted him in another space and it didn't work out? Allegedly, because I'm sure there was a solution, but got to figure out. It's all up to us to how we look at it, right? Um, but I think that that's important for us to be able to have that conversation with ourselves and really figure out like what is the problem? Like really, what is the problem when you know that it's possible? And so that is my encouragement to you in regards to that. I we trust everybody else to do their job, but we challenge God, the audacity. And I'm saying, get it together. Okay. Second thing is, I was in this group and we were just talking, having conversations, and can't remember the context of the conversation, but I wrote this down. Okay. I actually asked the girl to repeat it. I said, can you say that one more time? And I told her I was going to give her props. Okay. So I'm giving her props. I ain't going to say her name because I ain't asked her, could I say her name? But I said, don't be alarmed if you see an episode, or I'll tell you, I mentioned it. Um, she said, have I given other people permission to rearrange the rooms in my life? Have I given other people permission to rearrange the rooms in my life? Now let's go back and let's make this regular. Could you imagine the person at your job that gets on your nerves walks in your house and moves your living room furniture to your basement? Could you imagine someone else coming in and taking your bedroom furniture and putting it in the kitchen? Would you would you do that? First of all, if a stranger was at your door, would you even answer the door? Like it did, but you not like you ain't letting people in. That first of all, who said how you know I was home? How you get my address? If you have my address, why you ain't called first? What are you doing here? Right? Ain't no pop ups. You wasn't in my neighborhood, and if you was in my neighborhood, you should have told me. Hey, ask me. Hey, are you home? Right? There's so many different things that can go along with that. But the real thing is that you would never willingly let somebody come in your house and move your stuff around and then walk out. And then you have to live like that. So then why do we allow people to emotionally rearrange the rooms in our lives? Why do we allow other people's responses, how they react, how they think, how they process? How is it? Why do we let people rearrange the rooms in our lives? And I say, why do we let people do it? Because other people can control our emotions. Other people can control our responses. Now, you are responsible for how you react. You are responsible for what it is that you do. But and at the same time, you are responsible for how people treat you. And so if someone feels like that they are comfortable enough with dumping on you, um, make being disrespectful, not respecting your boundaries, talking to you crazy, treat like those are the things that you have I given permission? And sometimes permission isn't verbal. Sometimes permission is by is silence because you haven't corrected a person, because you haven't said, what you doing over here? Why you at my house? You ain't looked out the peephole like, hey, what's going? No, we let people in, and then we are upset because they're in the house. And when I'm using the house, I mean in your space, in your body, in your head. They live in rent free. People are living rent free in your brain because you let them. You are allowing them to just run amok. Okay. They out here doing whatever, saying whatever, getting you all worked up. And they doing whatever they gonna do, living their life. And you was over here like all distraught, right? And so this is another thing I need for us to think about. Like, if we've given other people permission to rearrange the rooms, how do we get them out? And I think the first thing is figuring out who is in here, who all in here, right? And who all is in here determines like how we exit stage left. Okay, listen, and these are all examples. Okay, I'm just using these as random examples of different things that I've heard. This is not about anybody in particular, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, so here's one. Like, all right, mom, you got to go. Okay, you have interfered in my you're interfering in my relationships, you're interfering in my parenting, you're interfering um in my career path. Like, you've done your job. I'm an adult now. I need you to I need you to go. Like, you can't be like, I can't have you in my head telling me things that are not true or based off of how you live your life. Like, we're not doing that. Okay, friend, you call me your girl, you say you looking out for me, but every time I come to you, you got something negative to say. You got like, you now that negativity is in my head. Now, every time I think of something, I hear your voice, not mine, but I hear your voice. Okay, parent. Okay, we're gonna go the other way. And here you are rearranging the rooms in your kids' life, right? And in all in their business and figuring out like this is there is guidance and then there's control, right? there is guidance and then there is control. And so we have to figure out if we've given people permission to control certain areas of our lives, we have to regain that control back. And some of that requires having a conversation and just being like, no, you can't. I don't know. I don't want you here anymore. No, you can't. I don't want to have this conversation with you. Sometimes it's shutting down. You have to shut your mouth. Be quiet. Don't be telling people all your business. Okay. Because sometimes you are allowing certain things to happen because you just keep telling people what to say. And so you've now given people the thought process that, oh, you want to know. Like, no, some stuff you need to go to therapy for. Okay. Um, or get some type of counseling or coaching or whatever have you, to have somebody let you process those thoughts. Your friends are not there for that, especially if you're gonna be mad at what they're gonna say, right? But I think that overall, like, we have so much growth to do at every single portion of our lives, every area of our every age, right? At my big 43 age, there's still things that I have to grow in. And I need to be able to ask myself the hard questions. I was doing an interview today, and we were talking about being able to tell the truth about yourself, and it's very hard for you to do that. And she mentioned something that made me really have to take pause, that I had to, like, in the middle of the interview, like, I was like, girl, you got to get it together because you got to push this thing out. But she said something that triggered something in me that I was just like, I need to sit with that myself. Like, I need to figure out why did what she said about herself, and I've never met this lady a day in my life. Why did that stir something up in me? And if it stirs something up in me, where did that come from? Why do I feel that way? What is the thought process behind it? And how can I make sure that even negative thoughts don't live rent free in my mouth? This is the part of slaying self doubt. You know what I'm saying? But I when the young lady said it, I was like, that question right there is so introspective, right? Because it's nobody else can answer that but you. Can't nobody else answer whether or not you've given permission to people to rearrange the rooms in your life. We individually are the only people that can do that, and I think that we have to ask ourselves these questions. As I continue to do these episodes in this podcast, like, there are lots of times where we have moments where we're chatting, I'm saying whatever it is, and I'm having these, like, real time thought processes of, like, bro, how is this showing up in my life? Um how is this me, right? And I'm super proud of myself that over the years I have been able to really just, like, hone in on the thing, make the necessary changes. But it comes with work, it comes with time, it comes with practice, it comes with a wanting to be different. And so with both of these things, us challenging God, giving people room to run amok in our lives, um, that comes with some accountability on our part, right? And some truth that we have to tell ourselves, and not being afraid to say the truth. Like, the freedom of what it is that you want for your life, the freedom of what it is that God has for your life is in your truth. And so I just want to encourage you all over these last couple of weeks of 2023 to really, if you need to get with somebody else, if you need to get with a coach, to, like myself, to go through that process of figuring out what that truth is, because you need a safe space, I am here. Okay. If you need to do it with a licensed therapist, we partner with BetterHelp. That is something that I would encourage you to do. Like, some people, I've done the work on my own, through coaching, through therapy, that I can comfortably do it by myself, right? But it didn't start out that way. And so, I'm not saying that, immediately you should be able to do it. Sometimes it takes doing it with other people and having that safe space to be able to get you to the place where you can confidently do it by yourself, like I said, in real time, where you're saying, sheesh, like, I need to dig deep in this space to be able to answer these questions. And so yeah, I just wanted to leave y'all with those things, because I felt like that isn't it wasn't it's some other stuff that I'll probably do next year, but those two phrases or sent I don't quotes, statements were things that I really wanted to share before the end of the year, because I do think it's important. I do think that it is necessary for um us to, as we continue to grow in who it is that God called us to be, like to question it, question the things that we've been doing that seem like they make sense, but really do it. You know what I'm saying? Because some stuff is just habitual, some stuff is habits, and I like to bring like real life context to it. Like I'm telling you, like in this situation, when I knew I was going to talk about it, I did not have like I knew the whole plane thing, but like God really, like the Holy Spirit really put that thing together about like resting in like how you snuggled it. Like I was just thinking about how snuggled up I'd be against that window and just close my eyes and sleep for 5 to 6 hours with no worries, no cares. But when God tells me to do something, I am full of angst, full of worry, full of nervousness, full of self doubt, and what am I supposed to do? Is this the right way? Is this blah, 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 versus trusting? And I know that a lot of it is it's a mental thing, and I'm just I'm growing every single day, and so I'm grateful for that. But I felt like that it was definitely something that we needed to talk about. So yeah, happy holidays to each and every one of you. I pray that you have a safe and healthy holiday. I pray that you go into this new year feeling renewed, refreshed, released. I pray that whatever it is that God has for you and your family truly comes to pass. I pray that you uh over these years, over this year in particular, have gotten something out of this podcast and out of me sharing. And I hope that I have imparted some wisdom on you in some way, shape, or form. And so if I have, um, thank you for listening. Right. Like if I have, thank you for listening. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you all showing up every single time, listening to me rant, ramble, whatever it is that I be doing on some days. And yeah, like this is fun to me. And so I'm grateful. So as always, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Again, if you enjoy this podcast and find it valuable, please consider making a donation by buying me a coffee. Your support of a small donation of $5 to $10 to help me create new content, grow our audience, and purchase new equipment for live recordings like uh lighting. Like I want lighting, a new camera. Like I really, and I've shared this multiple times, like I want to be able to get to a place where it's not just this green screen behind me. Again, take charge of your mental health and get 10% off your first month of therapy at betterhelp.com/slang. That's SLAYING. Make sure you subscribe to the Slayer Nation newsletter, especially in December. Y'all want to get connected because I said earlier, there are some bonus deals that will be happening in December. And so that will only be for those people who are connected to the newsletter. Be sure that you share this with at least 10 people. We're trying to hit $100,000, 100, hey, $100,000. Yes. But 100,000 downloads. By the end of this year. I mean, I've got 5 weeks. You never know, but if we hit 80,000, let's go, let's go. Follow me on Instagram at Slang Self Doubt or TikTok Slang Self Doubt, all everywhere. Until 2024, because remember, y'all, this is the last live episode. The next 5 episodes are the top five of 2023. So this is the last live episode for 2023 with me. Until next year, keep slang, sis. See ya. All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slaying Self-Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.